Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Raine Plays. Today I'm doing Garden Essence in Willow Creek, and this is my redoing Willow Creek one house at a time, redesigning, redecorating, whatever. I was just really anxious to try out my new audio setup. I know it sounds bad. I have to keep my fan on low, which means the window is partly open, because the next door neighbors are very noisy and they have their radio going in the garage, and I don't want this to get demonetized because of them. So there's going to be background noise, and I'll apologize for that now. Also, you're going to hear the sump pump as usual. Of course, the one day that cools down, I finally get to do this, and it has been steadily raining for about 16 hours now. So, and the birds in the background as well. Anyway, this is just showing you that I have redone the BFFs. I kept their personality traits. I changed Liberty's goofy walk to feminine. I think I lowered Summer's voice. I just couldn't stand her voice. I remember when I first started playing this, she came over, for the welcome wagon thing, and her voice just grated on my nerves so bad. I just didn't want to listen to it anymore, so I think I changed her voice. The house took too long, and I'm not at all happy with the results. I had an idea in mind, and it didn't quite turn out that way. Things changed, and I don't like the end result. But my thinking was that it would be, how I think it came with Eco Lifestyle? Everybody gets a message saying that if you marry someone within X amount of time, you'll inherit money or something, and then it doesn't happen. Well, this is my solution to that problem. This is a house that one of them would inherit. I don't know what the scenario would be, but based off of something that they would have to accomplish, and then they would inherit the house. So originally it would probably have been some 1800s mansion type in an affluent area that, like Detroit, quickly deteriorated. So it became like an apartment split into apartments, and now they have it back. So the first floor would be reminiscent of that older era. I was thinking like Art Deco 20s, and then their second floor private rooms are more modern, to their taste. But other than that, it derailed, and I think I ended up just plopping things down and not really caring as much as I should, because it was too late to go back and undo. Well, I felt it was too late. That was kind of stupid, huh? I could have deleted the whole thing and started from scratch. But this took about 5 days to do. And that was part of the reason why I just didn't have the heart to scrap it and start all over from scratch. Because for me, not always, but some of the time, I'll do that. After all my hard work and effort, I will scrap it because I'm not happy with it. And then I'll turn right around and start redoing exactly what I had done the first time. I don't know why. Call me stupid, but I tend to do that, and it's like, all right, well then maybe this is just the way it's supposed to be. But I don't know. You'd think after all this time I'd have plenty to talk about too, but I don't. I have nothing to say other than when I keep watching this playback, it just looks like I'm holding a old camcorder and I'm trying to get everything in. So I always picture myself walking into walls and smashing into things and knocking over their furnishings. It's bad. I didn't understand, and I will never understand, why this house had I believe it's got the largest lot. But they built this house in such a way, it's at an angle. There's not enough in it. It's not a bad house, I guess, but it just doesn't make any sense to me why it would be this small on such a big lot. But I am also keeping with the neighborhood that I've created. So these are like really older homes. I know that Willow Creek is supposed to mirror, what is it, New Orleans? So I didn't exactly keep that in mind because I've never been there. I'm only remotely familiar with what it's like down there and what the houses look like, so I just went with old for this neighborhood, and then the next neighborhood will probably go up, and then the one after that, and so on. But I like to do this. I think it's fun. I don't mind it. I just wonder sometimes if I keep doing the same thing over and over again, but I don't really. It just, for whatever reason, Foundry Cove just seems like this old world. You would find really old homes here because this is where the town, if you want to call it that, was established. And then people kind of branched out. I guess you would call that a suburban situation. So you always start in the heart of a town and then you work your way out. And I just feel that Foundry Cove is the heart of Willow Cove, not Pendula or whatever that other ones are called. So I try to put the oldest homes here, and then as I move on, things get a little more updated. And I might as well be honest, I love older homes. I just think they've got so much character. And I try to duplicate it as best I can. That I own every single pack now, including that silly vampires thing and the spooky stuff. I also got the knitting one, which didn't interest me in the slightest, but I got it just to say I have them all. So there's so much now in build mode to discover that this is all over the place. I have a feeling that my next few builds are going to have a little bit of every single pack in them. But it's because I'm new to it and I'm just kind of finding my way. Eventually I'll pick out my favorites and I'll ignore all that I don't really care for. So, but I suppose everybody does that. I wish I had exciting things to tell you, but I don't, because it's all just complaining and fighting depression and anxiety-laden thoughts that I just don't, I shouldn't share. Now, I know the roof here, these cylindrical roofs, well, I've mentioned so many times that I really stink at roofs in The Sims 4. I just don't get it. But I deliberately made them larger than they should be so that they would cover the porch area where the people come in, the homeowners. So that's why I did that. I know it looks dumb. What else do I have to talk about? Not really sure. Of course, my job is up in the air. I'm still doing the parapro sub thing. And I still don't know whether the kids are going to be back in school or not this fall. They're all going to register, and they're doing, well, I actually have not seen too many sports related things going on at the local schools, but the kids are coming in and out of the building. I assume it's to get their schedules, find out who their teachers are in the classes and things like that. But other than that, I have no idea. My thinking is that even if they do return in the fall, it isn't going to be that likely that the teachers will be taking a lot of time off like they normally do to need my services. And if they do have to go to conferences and stuff like that, they're not going to be flying to Barbados or Miami. They're going to be doing it all online. So that stuff could probably be done after hours. Not that I'm deliberately shooting myself in the foot or anything like that, but I'm just saying that's the way it's looking. So I don't know. And then unemployment ended on Tuesday, unless the government decides they're going to extend it. Again, that's up in the air. But I'm comfortably situated to the point where it's not going to matter for the next several months. So at least I don't have that concern anymore. But personally, I would rather not return until they come up with a proper vaccine for this virus. I'm just, not that I'm an unhealthy person, but I'm at an age where it could go either way. I don't have any underlying issues that they keep talking about. But that doesn't mean, I don't know. I just don't know. It just makes me nervous. And it's just a little upsetting that they're constantly talking about the children. The children don't get it, and now the children do get it, but they survive. And I don't think anybody really knows anything. But the point is, children are not teaching children. There are not children sitting behind the teacher's desk teaching the assignments. They're adults. And adults tend to congregate regardless. I'm not saying inside the classroom itself. Usually it's just the teacher and a parapro, maybe an assistant once in a while will walk in. But in the hallways, and especially in the office, parents are constantly in and out. Nobody seems to know what 6 feet looks like. Even if it's marked on the floor, the people just don't see it. And there have been too many times just at the corner grocery store or the 7-Eleven, everything is clearly marked. And yet, I don't know how many times I have been at the cash register to pay for my things, and some idiot just walks up right next to me and stands there, breathing heavily, waiting their turn. Or I'm trying to get the change in my wallet so that I can leave, and as I'm removing my items from the counter, they just walk right up and set their stuff down where their arm is practically brushing against mine. I've had a number of times where I'm doing my pop, and someone just walks right up next to me, takes their own cup, and starts filling their cup while I'm at the machine. Nobody, the adults especially, adults just don't get it. And then there are the free thinkers who can walk around without a mask because the government's not going to tell them what to do. They don't understand the 6-foot rule. And I can just see it happening in every school that I go to. And I keep hearing that parents are not going to be allowed to come into the building. Well, try and stop them. Try and stop a parent from doing what they want to do when they want, because they're a parent and they're entitled. I'd like to see that one be enforced. It's not going to happen. And that just makes me nervous, that's all I'm saying. I don't trust the parents to abide by anything other than their own whims, their own feelings, their own desires. It's always been that way. That won't change. So that's where I am on that. Now, as far as these rooms go, I had no idea that we were already towards the end here. But this is Liberty's room. I gave her the girly pinky. I don't know why. I felt like they needed a change. I know I've overhauled them once before, but I just want to see something different. I left their story as it is. I left their personality traits as they are. But I just wanted to see different people walking around in the world, I guess. I don't know. I was never happy with this scenario where it's the blonde boy and the two other girls are vying for his affection. I don't know. I don't know. I say that I like old-fashioned things, and then some things just rub me the wrong way, and this is just one of them. This is part of the reason why I say I screwed up. What I really wanted to do was have one girl, two guys, and the two guys are vying for her attention. That would be different. But I didn't make the house that way. So I couldn't stick with that. I still had to make two girls and one guy. And the guy, I don't know what happened to him, but that was not the guy I had intended to make. He's a weird looking one, but he'll have to do. Not like I'm going to play these guys. Although I did play them for about a sim week. All three of them ended up getting promoted at work and stuff like that. And by the way, I know I should be putting the alarms and stuff in the kitchen, but I always give the sims that I create or play with, I give them 10 in cooking just so they won't burn down my hard-earned work here. So the chances of a fire occurring are reduced that way. So they can go in and cook, and they cook fine. So I don't worry about that, which is why I never think to put those alarms there. And I know they have the firemen there, but I've seen so many videos now, it's ridiculous. 2 firefighters show up, one goes in the house, the other one stands outside waving their arms like a regular sim would. Why? And then the second one who's waving their arms walks in. The first one who entered the house first goes directly to the fire and stands there. The second one comes in and puts the fire out. Now again, why? Explain that to me. It makes no sense at all. The other thing that doesn't make sense is if your sim is able to extinguish the fire themselves, what do they need the fire department for? I don't think they thought that one through very well. I think they just thought, well, as so many people want the firefighters back, let's just include them in the game. But they didn't take the time to tweak that aspect or rework it so that it made better sense. I don't know. They have the detective career, but they don't have police. And now that would be something I'd like to see. I feel very sorry for the police in this environment. And I think it would be cool to have a cop show up and, find out who did what or what domestic situation is going on. I don't know. I know that's the detective career, but they should just have them as a general rule. Sorry, this is so boring. But I'm really happy with my setup. I've got one of those metal arms that you clip to your desk, and it ratchets in and out and up and down. It holds the mic perfectly in place, so you're not going to hear any more clunking. But again, I know the audio quality is bad. My editing software has the ability to record on it, but I've never done that before. I'm going to have to try it out as far as sound goes. I just need to get this out of the way real quick before everybody comes storming in. My son and his wife are selling their house, so we have their cat Belle here, and she's, for all her beauty and sweetness, she's mean, and she's treating our Shadow very disrespectfully. So poor Shadow is locked in the basement where my daughter stays, and Belle is up here roaming free, and it makes me very sad. I feel sorry for them both. The kids are allowing their realtor to manipulate them. I think she just doesn't care for cats. So when she holds open house or has a walkthrough, she makes them take the cat out. And I don't think that's right. I don't think she even has the authority to do that. But the kids are falling for it. That cat should be able to stay in its house because it's very confused, and it's moved a few times now, and most cats are like that. They just don't appreciate it. And in my experience, after the third move, if you make any attempt to disrupt their life again, they're just going to leave. They're never going to come back. They're going to find some way to run away, and you'll never see them again. And I don't want that to happen with Belle. So I'm trying to talk to them about it, but nobody ever listens to me. So I just think that Belle deserves to stay in that house while this woman is showing it. I've been on so many, house, whatever, searching for a house. And the animal is either kept in the basement or left in a crate somewhere, cat or dog. And there are just signs posted. Please don't let the dog out. Please don't let the cat out. It's that simple. So, I don't know. But she's here, and Shadow has tried to investigate a couple times now, but Belle just, oh my goodness. And Belle is so much bigger than Shadow. So I'm worried that, cat fights are terrifying of themselves, but I don't want either of them to get injured. So we just keep them separated. And it's heartbreaking for both of them and me. I just think it's wrong to do that to an animal. But there's not much we can do about it. So anyway, maybe I could have explained a little bit better about what you're seeing here. I took the 3 parts that were originally like apartments, separate apartments. I opened it up to one ground floor space, and then, like I said, I separated the second floor so that's their private, where their bedroom and where their desks and stuff are. I think the interior is a little bit better than the exterior, but this is not what I wanted to do. And I'm not a fan of brown. And the exterior is based on the porches. I tried to keep them together as best I could, but it looks like we're coming up on the end here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will leave a like. And I also hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.